we're all here to really live our dream life.
Welcome to the Technology Equals Equality podcast. I'm your host, Lori Brooks, and this is episode 87. Rochele Marie Lawson, the queen of feeling fabulous, returns. Hey Techie community, welcome back and thank you so much for joining me here for episode 87 with Rochele Marie Lawson, the queen of feeling fabulous. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Rochele Marie Lawson is the president of Blissful Living for You, which was founded to bring holistic wellness, wisdom, and wealth into the lives of individuals seeking a natural path to abundance, health, happiness, peace, prosperity, joy, success, and wealth. Rochele is a successful business owner, registered nurse, Ayurvedic health practitioner, holistic health and wellness consultant, international best-selling author, speaker, and radio show hostess. Rochele's energy, guidance, and enthusiasm have helped thousands of people improve their wellness, wisdom, and wealth by utilizing ancient, holistic, and natural principles so they can step into living the life of their dreams. She's been named one of the top 50 women-owned businesses in Silicon Valley and is the author of 4 best-selling books, including Intro to Holistic Health, Ayurvedic Style. Rochele hosts her own weekly podcast, Blissful Living, which is hosted on her very own podcast network. She's been a guest writer for several blog publications, as well as a featured published blogger on the Wellness Universe as a proud Wellness Universe VIP world changer. She's been quoted in the Huffington Post, as well as several other media publication outlets. She's spent over 25 years assisting people in achieving and sustaining an elevated state of wellness and wealth through wisdom, enhancing the power of their mind to transform their lives to live with more abundance, clarity, energy, happiness, joy, peace, vitality, creativity, wisdom, prosperity, success, and wealth. We first spoke with Rochele back in 2015 when she revealed to our audience that not only is the tricorder real, but she uses it on a daily basis in her practice. This is still like the coolest piece of technology that has been brought onto this show by any of our guests. So again, Rochele, thank you for that. I absolutely enjoyed sharing this awesome piece of tech with the audience. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out episode 25, I suggest you do so now. Rochele shares how her entrepreneurial journey began and some serious golden nuggets of wisdom. Are you ready to be fierce, fabulous, and sexy in 2021? This week, Rochele and I chat about how the pandemic has shifted her thought process and continues to create new opportunities for her to help women turn passion into purpose and purpose into profit. Listen in as we discuss boundaries, the pandemic, sweet potato pie, and so much more. Rochele, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. I am super excited to have you back.
It's a pleasure to be here, Lori. Girl, I love you.
I love you too. I am so excited to have you back on with us. Can you believe it's actually been 5 years since the last time we spoke?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe 5 years, girl. Yes. Oh my gosh.
It's been that long. I know. And it's funny because we'll touch base every now and then randomly through social media, but we actually haven't had a chance to really sit down again. So I'm super excited to touch base and see how your practice has been. I mean, when we spoke back then, of course, we were talking about the start of your entrepreneurial journey and how entrepreneurship became a part of your life. And we touched on how the medical community was far more complacent and still is at this moment with searching for symptoms to not provide solutions, but realistically to provide prescriptions.
Right.
You and I have a very similar story, which we touched on back in that episode. So for the listeners, if you haven't checked out episode 25 with Rochele, please be sure to do so. She shares awesome nuggets of wisdom. It is an outstanding episode, and she really shares the start of her journey. So This episode, I'm really looking to move forward and talk about how your practice has evolved over the past 5 years. What kind of pivots do you feel like your journey has taken, and what does your practice look like today?
I'm one of those fierce, fearless, and unstoppable type of chicks. And no matter what I'm doing, whether it's my holistic business or my telecom business, I go 0 to 100, right? I give it my all. And I'm very intuitive, and I use my intuition, my divine guidance, my divine team, as I like to say. I use the wisdom that they share with me in order to make the right moves and have the right strategies when it goes to running my businesses. So with regards to this particular business, Blissful Living for You, first of all, I think the last time we talked, the business may have been called the Health, Healing, and Wellness Company.
Yes.
And it has transformed into Blissful Living for You. And the reason why is because I want everyone in the whole wide world to be able to experience what blissful living means for them.
Mhm.
And it means a lot of different things for people. But it's an individual thing, and and we are all on an individual journey. And so I may define as blissful living or living my dream life, maybe completely something different for someone else. So the business has evolved into this Blissful Living for You. And it is really focused on turning fierce, fearless, and unstoppable people, particularly women's lives around so that they can step into living their dream lives by turning their passions into purpose and their purpose into profit, and amplifying the main pillars of life so that you actually can live the life of your dreams, which is we focus on wellness, wisdom, and wealth. And when you have those three pillars in checks and balance, then you have nothing holding you back from stepping into living the life of your dreams. So Blissful Living for You is all about helping you to manifest and actually really live the life of your dreams.
I absolutely love that. What do you feel really sparked that decision in your mind to kind of begin transitioning not only the title of the company, but the brand as a whole? What was it that really sparked that decision for you?
Well, just over the course of my almost 31 years as a very successful business owner, and just being, again, I'm a kick-ass nurse, right? And I know I got a whole bunch of other brothers and sisters around the world that are the best kick-ass nurses in the world as well. So collaboratively, we doing the thing, right? But I think what really sparked it for me is, I'm living the life of my dreams, and I've been doing it for a really long time. And so there's so many women, particularly that I come across, that are either in some type of transition in their life, whether their kids are now going to school and they have some time, or their kids are now getting out of high school and going to college and they have the empty nest, or they're at an age where kids are grown, they got grandkids, and they want to really step into doing something they really love to do, and they want to put themselves first instead of putting themselves last. And so I just, after talking to women and working with women and guys too, I realized that we are all here to really live our dream life. I mean, Yah, God, the divine spirit really created us to live our dream life. And yeah, we have challenges, and yeah, we stumble along things. But when you find the right, I like say, recipe to help you to do that, then you really are honoring the creator. And so I see people just hustling and bustling and doing just all kind of stuff. And they may be making a lot of money, but they're not healthy. They may be making a lot of money, but they don't have good relationships, or they're not happy. They may be making a lot of money, but their mindset and the way they think about things is all jacked up, And so in order to be able to truly live a blissful life, or to live your dream life, we've got to step into doing some changes. And those changes really revolved around wellness, wisdom, which is mindset, and wealth. And so I've seen people, and I see people struggle with that. And I guess I want to say it was just a divine download that came to me to change the business. Now, initially, when the business was created, it was a spa. I had a brick and mortar spa in North California that focused on holistic health and well-being, right?
Right.
And that was where the Health, Healing, and Wellness Company was. It was a physical spa location. Now the business is more global. It's an online business. And so Blissful Living is available for everyone around the world who wants to embrace what I have to share, what I have to give, the knowledge bestowed upon me that is helping me to live my blissful life. It's available to everyone around the world. And it just sounds so much more embracing and yummier than the Health, Healing, and Wellness Company, right? It's like, but Blissful Living is like, ooh, that's like candy. That's like having that, pecan pie with that extra caramel on it and a dollop of whipped cream with a little shot of bourbon on the side,
Yes.
or had some sweet potato pie for that matter, no matter, or you know what I'm saying? It's the goody, it's the yummy, it's the sweetness of life that we are meant to experience. And so that's it.
I love it. And I want to say congratulations, because during our last episode 5 years ago, we were talking about exactly that, how technology was helping you begin transitioning into a new phase of your practice. And we had talked about you going global and moving forward with really connecting with people in a digital format versus that brick and mortar location that you originally had. So you embraced that thought process, you moved forward with it.
And it just was a natural transition. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people in Northern California that really want me to have that spa. And I tell them, well, we can do spa stuff. I got all the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You can either come to me for a private VIP day, or I can come to you. It's still available. It's just not in a brick and mortar site. It's actually more personalized, and it can be really more private, so to speak, based on how I do it now. But it's available. It's just, I don't have that physical location anymore. We just do some other fun, yummy things and do that at other fun, beautiful locations.
When you decided you're going to let go of the brick and mortar and you're going to move forward globally with the practice in a digital format, what do you feel were some of the opportunities or areas of your practice that you had to evaluate to make that decision? What do you feel was the bigger motivating factor, or what do you feel like you took into the greatest consideration there?
Well, one of the things that really helped me to streamline my thought process from going just local to global was the ability to be able to share my gifts, share my wisdom, share my experiences, share my challenges, share my trials and tribulations with people around the world via speaking. I had a mentor who is a really good friend now, but my mentor was a person who opened my mind with regards to I can speak to sell, so to speak, and open up my services to people around the world that may need me but can't get to me. Mm-hmm. So why am I blocking, so to speak, my blessings by keeping myself local when there are people that are around the world that need me and need what I have to offer? And so it was basically speaking that got me out of the front. Now, when I started my first business back in 1990, there was no computers like we have, no cell phones, none of that kind of technology. So it was really strictly based. You hit the pavement and you went and sold, right? There was no internet. It didn't even exist. Now business is done so different that you don't necessarily have to hit the pavement to sell. You don't necessarily have to hit the pavement to have to share your gifts with people. You can do it sitting right here in the comfort of your home and really expand your reach astronomically and touch people around the world that actually need you but can't physically get to you. So technology, I think, has created an abundance of opportunities. And I like to imagine the possibilities because they are limitless. The limits only exist in your mind. And if you learn how to break through those limitations, then you really do step into being fierce, fearless, and unstoppable. And so that's pretty much how I transitioned, though, was just to go from, I went into speaking and then just got a ton of opportunity to speak and, being interviewed on podcasts, and then I had my own podcast, and then people, wanting private sessions and, all that kind of stuff. And it was just beautiful. And the beauty of it is we were doing this like how we are, everybody's using Zoom or GoToMeetings or something like that now, Google Meets. And we can do that, we can do that. And I can still share my gift with someone that might be in South Africa or someone that might be in Sydney or Brisbane, Australia, or someone that might be in Singapore. So it just broadened the expansion of what my reach was, and to be able to share my wisdom with those around the world.
It really was an evolution of your practice. It wasn't necessarily a pivot or a change that you felt like you had to make, which a lot of people are experiencing this year. There's been a
Yeah.
huge digital transformation for a lot of people, whereas with your practice, you had already digitized everything. You had already gotten to that space. So I'm curious where you had already made that pivot for yourself and you had already been operating in a remote manner, having the opportunity to reach a global audience. What do you feel, or how do you feel the pandemic affected you this year? How do you feel? And I hope you and your loved ones have remained safe throughout the year and everybody's been well.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. So let me tell y'all, when you are a kick-ass, unstoppable chick like I am, and listen to your intuitive guidance, which we all have it. We all get intuitive guidance every single day, all day long. It's whether you tuned into it or not. Okay. I'm tuned into mine because I've learned some hard lessons when I don't tune into it. Right. But
Yes.
right. It's like, whoo, when your mama told you don't do something, you did it anyways. And you had to learn that hard lesson because your little booty was, little, back in my day, that's what they did. Right. But so I always listen to intuitive guidance and wisdom, and I'm super intuitive. So I can see things happening maybe 6 months to a year and a half before they actually happen. It's just a gift. Same thing with me seeing illness in people. I can see terminal illness in people.
You got to talk lottery numbers soon. No,
yeah, even before. Anyway, so getting off track. But so in the first 9 months of this year, my business has made $65,000 more than it made in all of last year. And I'm on track to have that number. Actually, it's just went gangbusters recently, but I'm on track to have that number be over six figures of more than what I made last year. Wow. And when I think about the last 3 years, the last 3 years are really, really good for me, but the revenue generation for my business this year, when it shouldn't have been, I should be kind of struggling, I guess, has been astronomical. And here's the thing, not only in this business, but in my telecommunications corporation that I own as well, we've been killing it. And it's amazing because my employees from my telecom company actually have to go out and do telecom stuff for our customers. So people are like, well, how are you guys killing it? How are you guys made so much more money in that business when you can't actually physically go out? And that's another secret I'll share on another show, but it's possible. It is really, really possible. It's just the way you set things up, and it's being intuitive again, and listening to the intuitive message being bestowed upon you. And then other thing I want to share is, don't watch the news and listen to all that chitty chatter, chitty, because they're only feeding you what they want you to focus on at that moment in time. And if you get wrapped up into all that negativity, it brings down your energy, it brings down your aura, it darkens your aura, and it prevents you from being a magnetizer to being a distractor or a detractor from what you want to bring into your life. So one of the things I suggest is, if you are a news junkie, stop it. You can read the news a little bit and all that, but that's gonna help prevent you from stepping into amplifying what you could do. No matter what the economy is doing, you can still make money. And I can share with you how, but you can definitely still make money. Definitely. It's extremely possible. And I know you know that too, Lori.
I do. I agree with you 100%. It is definitely possible. It's a matter of focus and again, listening to not only your intuition, but your customers as well.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
that you're focused on those areas. I think also this year and the ability to still maintain a profit is not necessarily something that, not just the negativity from the news, but the fear that's provided by the newsreel that's consistently going. So, yes. Not only are they talking economy, but we also have pandemic and the fears of numbers and so forth. And I think if you take the time in the morning to brief yourself on what's going on in the day and move forward versus focus on throughout the entire day the repetitive nature of the stories. I think that's something that a lot of people should think twice about. Just turning that channel on and letting it run throughout the day can definitely bring that energy
Oh,
100%.
yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Like you said, I do a 15-minute news brief, pull up my
There you go.
iPad, look at the news,
Yeah.
and I look at all kind of stuff, and then I move on.
Yeah.
Because if you focus on the negativity and you let it, it really does dwindle and dim the light of positive energy. And negative energy is so hard. I mean, it's so heavy, so much heavier than positive energy. So you know how that goes.
Definitely. No, you got to keep the energy up, and focusing on the news is never going to provide that for anybody.
No,
I don't care whether it's
never.
2020 or any other year, it's not going to be provided through a news. It's just not. So what do you feel this year has changed for you? We've talked about the fact that you were capable of increasing profit and moving forward. What do you feel has really shifted in your practice based off of this year?
I really don't know if it's something that shifted in my practice per se. Because I made a few changes, little quirks of things. I started doing virtual summits because I couldn't do my live events that I had scheduled and my fabulous speakers. So I wanted to get them out there and promote them. So doing virtual summits, which, okay, maybe that's something that shifted that I hadn't did really before. But I don't want to say really it's my practice. It's what shifted inside of me that has made the difference. See, what shifted inside of me was going from being the type of person to give it my all and give everything I got, which I still do. Going from that to being a type of person that still gives my all, but in a different context of not giving everything that I have to everyone. I think sometimes my capacity and my energy and my sexy, sassy, bad self, I want to just shower people with everything. And everybody's not ready for everything. Sometimes they just want to go back to the sweet potato pie. Sometimes they want a little tiny slice. Sometimes they just want to dip the spoon in and taste the sweet potato itself. Sometimes they want a big pie. Sometimes they want half the pie. And then there's people that want the whole pie. But just really focusing in on the level of what people's capacity is to receive the wisdom that they want from me has been the shift. So it shifted inside me. And instead of giving them the whole pie, I find out exactly what and how much of the pie they want, what and how much of the pie they can actually receive, hold, and be successful with. And then I allow them the grace to utilize the tools that I provide to them so that they can experience the success of whatever it is we're working on themselves. And it's different. The light bulb comes on in their head instead of me seeing it and showing them the light bulb. The light bulb comes and them saying, like, me showing them, oh yeah. They actually, the light bulb turns on in their head for them. And they come to me now and say, I see, I'm experienced. This has happened. Look what happened. Look how much money I made. Whatever. And I think that's it. So the shift happened in me. And I think it was something that needed to happen. It's a beautiful thing. And I still have it all for everybody who wants it. But I had to shift myself and just hold back a little bit. Like I can't ride Secretariat like I'm that jockey that, rode that Triple Crown Secretariat horse. I love horse racing, but, I can't ride Secretariat like that. I can't take him to the full throttle with everybody. Some people need the little tiny pony. Walk down,
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so, and I'm that type of chick. I want to get on Secretariat. I want to get on that thoroughbred horse and I want to take it to the limit. Or I want to get on that race car in Daytona 500 and I want to drive that 200 miles an hour. I don't want to do 55. I could do that on the highway with my car, right? I want to take it to the limit. And everybody doesn't want you to take them to the limit. They just want you to give them what they need at that moment in time. And so,
I understand that. In fact, it's funny you said that. Back when I started my practice, I remember that being the main feedback that I would get at all times. Overwhelmed with the amount of information and everything that I was pouring on, because I wanted to give it all to everyone at all times.
Right.
I want to to do your best and do as much as you can. And sometimes that means scaling back and really looking at what it is somebody needs and providing those specific areas of focus for them. And I think in that respect, you did that this year. I believe you have a 7-day detox program that you are now working towards. And speaking of, those specific areas for people, why don't you tell us a little bit about the program?
For sure. So my background, one of the things I'm really passionate about is detoxification. I've been doing it probably for the last 30 plus years on a regular basis. And so I've had this program for quite a while. And I was just sharing with you before we came on air that, I'm a 55-year-old plus woman who's still in her head thinks she's 29. And I actually have a pair of pants.
You look 29, so.
Actually have a pair of pants. I even told my youngest son, I'm like, oh, you didn't pass up your mama. You didn't turn 30. And I'm still holding steady at 29. He was like, yeah, no. He said, I realize that, Mom. He's like, oh, I'm going to be older than my mama, right? It's just a running joke. But, as an old person, an elderly lady told me when I first became a nurse 30 years ago, she said, you are as young as you feel in your mind. And don't let nobody tell you this. This lady was 96 years old and she looked like she was in her 70s. She was having a heart attack, but she looked like she was in her 70s. So long story short, that's always held true to me. I do feel 29. Heck, I felt good when I was 29.
Yes.
So long story short, I got on the scale yesterday, and I'm telling you guys, I indulge. I don't hold back. I love my sweets. I love good food. I made some gumbo last week for my kids. We was chowing down like nobody business. Okay. And I'm like, okay, and I kind of gauge myself by how my clothes fit. But I'm like, God, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, I look thinner. So I got on the scale and my weight was 2 pounds more than what I weighed 25 years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh. Then I'm stunting in the mirror like, oh, look at girl, you look at those abs, girl. Ain't nobody,
Yes.
can't nobody tell me nothing, right? I'm like Kanye, can't nobody tell me nothing right now. And so I had to think back, like, people are talking about quarantine 15, quarantine 20, 45, 50, right? And I've lost weight. And I actually have lost a total of 8 pounds during this quarantine time. So I realized this because I detoxify. And I was privy to speak at the International American Medical Association's conference in Las Vegas last December 14th, almost a year ago. And I gave this presentation on how detoxification is the key to longevity. Mm-hmm. And so I have this 7-day detoxification program that I created for people that just want a little taste of detoxification. And the beautiful thing is I utilize this program. The beautiful thing about this program is you get to eat some yummy food. And I already told you guys, I love food and I'm a good cook. So my detoxification 7-day detox is an entry program to detoxification. You will lose belly bloat, you will lose belly flat, you'll lose gas, your middle section will shrink a little bit in the 7 days. Your skin will clear up, you'll have more energy, you'll sleep better, and you get to eat some really yummy food that as you're eating it works on not only detoxifying your digestive system, but helping to cleanse your blood as well, right? And to boost your immune system naturally. And you're detoxifying. So you're getting rid of toxins, but at the same time, you're boosting your immune system. So my 7-day detox is what I'm sharing with everybody right now. And if anybody hears this particular show and they send me an email at info@blissfulliving, the number 4 and the letter U.com, and put Lori Brooks 7-day detox, they will get the program for free. Nice. Because I know the value of keeping our body, naturally fit and fabulous, right? And, you could be a small person, mid-sized person, or you could be, thick. That might be just your body type. It doesn't matter. But the key is to help us to detoxify some of this junk we're taking in and all this libation and good food we've been eating in quarantine, so that we can feel healthy and energized and have our skin look good and keep that immune system built up so that the Rona, when she comes in, the immune system is like, you better step back, chick, because I got my team here and you ain't invading us, right? And they fight it off. And I'm giving a visualization, but it's like somebody coming into your house and you got your crew in your house and you like, oh, no, you don't. You think you're going to burglarize? You better watch out. So I want to give that to as many people as possible because I want everybody to, first of all, experience detoxification. And I want everyone to know that you can detoxify your body and still eat. The beautiful thing about the program is it's streamlined and you get recipes for each day, each meal. You don't even have to try to guess how to do it. It's all laid out for you. And I'm giving that to everybody who hears this show and puts in the subject line, Lori Brooks, 7-day detox for free. Now, send me an email at info@blissfulliving, the number 4 and the letter U.com, and you will get the program. And it's my gift to you. And then I want you to tell me about it. You know, your experience. Did it help shed some of that quarantine 15? Just I want feedback. So
You are awesome. You are awesome. I thank you. The audience thanks you. I will be sure to go ahead and check that out and include a link on the show notes page. So do not worry, Blissful Living for you. info@blissfulliving, the number 4, the letter U.com. We will be sure to include that link. You are outstanding, Rochele. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining us today. Please share the best way for our listeners to find you.
Thank you so much for having me. Can I give another gift?
You were quick. Too much.
Okay, real quick. So you can find me, and I'm just directing you to my website, but you can find me at, Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com. But this other gift I mentioned slightly about body type. We have the naturally thin, medium build, and then the heavy, I want to say the thick people, right? And we need all these people on the earth for all of us to survive, right? So if you want to find out what your body type is, you can go, and the reason why you need to know this is because it will help you to streamline building and keeping your immune system as well as your body and mind functioning at optimal levels. And we need this right now, y'all. We need to gather together and kick corona in the booty. But you can find out your body type by going to Blissful Living, the number 4, the letter U.com /body type. Take the quiz and you get a bunch of free gifts. You get a gift on what your body type is, as well as a list of foods that's particularly beneficial for you to eat for your body type and some other fabulous things. And you can combine that with this free 7-day detox you're going to get from me. And step into 2021 looking fierce, fabulous, and absolutely fine and sexy. But yes, so you can find me on social media, Rochele Lawson, Facebook, Instagram, Rochele Lawson, or Blissful Living for You, Twitter, Rochele Lawson, LinkedIn, Rochele Lawson, or Rochele Marie Lawson. You can find me. You can Google me. I have my podcast, The Blissful Living Show. So if you can't find me, it's because you're not looking, but definitely Rochele Lawson, and it's ROCHELE. On social media, because there's no hell in this chick. There's only loving, positive, and joyful energy for all of y'all.
Oh, well, Rochele, thank you for bringing your loving, positive energy to the show once again. You are outstanding. I always enjoy taking a moment to chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori, for having me. You are a blessing to me and continued success in everything that you're doing, getting that word out there, girl, as well as wishing you health and well-being to you and your family and a phenomenal holiday season.
Don't even worry.
Sorry.
You do not need to apologize. That was the perfect ending to a perfect show. Rochele, thank you once again for joining us here for episode 87 and for sharing your time, your amazing energy, wisdom, and so many goodies with the community and techie community. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 87. If you are ready to step into 2021 looking and feeling fierce, fabulous, and fine, then be sure to reach out to Rochele at info@blissfullivingforyou.com and be sure to include my name and 7-day detox in the subject line for your free 7-day detox program. Also, check out Blissful Living for You /body type for a whole slew of additional goodies and gifts from Rochele to help you kick off 2021 feeling fabulous. Be sure to include a thank you when you do reach out to Rochele. And we will be sure to include links to both of those on our show notes page over at technology-equality.com /Rochele Marie Lawson. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you're enjoying the show so that other people can find the show as well. And until our next episode, when we continue to hear the journey, find the pain, and create solutions, enjoy the week.